Welcome everyone. Today we're going to be going over how to customize your PS5 controller. It's a little similar to the PS4 customizations, but it has a couple extra steps. So we're going to be showing you everything you need in this video to customize your PS5 controller. Let's get started. I'll show you what you'll need for this tutorial. Let's go. You're going to need obviously a PS5 controller. You're going to need a shell of some sort. This is what we have for things that we can customize our controllers with. We have green obviously here. I think will look pretty cool. We're going to give it a try. And then we have a pry tool. This pry tool here, guys, is so we can just peel back a couple things, pop off some triggers, really get into the controller easier. And then just a basic Phillips screwdriver. It's nothing too crazy, pretty simple. Everything is almost a household item, guys. This pry tool doesn't have to be this exact model. It can be anything that's just thin enough. You know, let me give you a little visual, thin enough so you can get behind the triggers, which really doesn't take much. If you can see right here, pretty simple. So that's what you'll need that for. Let's get right into the controller. Let's start with step one. So step one is this, guys. Let's just move everything off to the side as well so we have a little bit of space. Right here is basically where the plastic's held in. It's attached here and here, here, and then down here on this part. So just go ahead and take your pry tool, pop that right up, and then down here give a little prop up, and you should be able to set it down and just peel it out like so. Pretty simple. It gets a lot more complicated inside the controller. Not too complicated that it's not possible, but it's definitely a little trickier inside. So I'm going to show you guys now. We have two screws. You have one right here and you have one down here. Go ahead and remove those right now. Keep those in a separate pile because there will be other screws that, aren't the same size. So we'll just keep those together just so we don't get them confused. All right. Now that we have out those two screws, guys, go ahead and take your pry tool like I was talking about. Slide that behind the PS5 in the front. But I should mention, right here in the front, you don't want to do it on the sides because it doesn't work that way. It kind of gets stuck and jammed and could break. So just remember, stick to the front. Super easy. Give it a little prop up. Comes right out. And then when you do so, you'll find that you see a couple more screws. You got one here and obviously one on the other side. Let's go ahead and remove those two screws now. Okay, guys, first part's pretty easy. Let's go ahead and just take the edge, kind of prop it up a little bit. I'm going to show you, kind of hold it up right here, but then you'll see that we have two clips, one here and one here. You just want to prop those up. Don't snap them. That'll release your controller. You'll just open it here, pop it out, take your back shell, toss that off to the side, and then we will get started. So we have a battery. We're just going to go ahead and unattach, and then we are going to start with the back plate. So take your screwdriver, there's a screw right there, just take out that screw back there, and then you should be able to take this little ribbon cable too, if it's still, let that clear for you, still attached into the battery pack. Kind of just slide it out a little bit. You don't want to rip that out when you do. Be careful with ribbon cables, guys. I can't stress that point enough. They are very fragile. So once you have that, remove the battery pack. And then if you want that cable we were just, kind of playing with, take that, put that with the battery plate. And then it's just basically, we're going to take off all our ribbon cables, make sure everything's unattached. So we have four, we have one here, obviously one up here, guys. And then we have one right down here. So just go ahead and gently remove these cables. And usually right on the ends, kind of where they're plugged in, you guys can see that it's a harder piece of plastic feeling. So just go ahead, grab that part of it, pull that right out. Pretty simple. Unattach. Here we go. There we go. And now we have two more screws. One right here. Get a little closer. One right here. One right here. Go ahead and remove those screws now. Okay. So now that we have those screws out, guys, all we have to do is pop this battery pack up. Kind of make sure that your blue ribbon cable right here is tucked into that little slot, and then just pull it up a little bit. It might be a little tight, just be fragile, kind of work it around. There we go, it'll release. And once you have that released, remove this ribbon cable. You can just, you'll see that your analogs might have fallen out like mine. Just gonna put those off to the side for the time being. Okay, so now kind of just make sure that's good. We have 2 more screws in here to actually get to the front of the controller, which we're only getting to the front of the controller, guys, for this plate. If we didn't have this plate, I wouldn't be showing you how to get this far in, but we do. So with that being said, let's take out these 2 silver screws. Get this a little closer. We have one right here, and we have one right here. Go ahead and remove those now. I like to leave mine sitting inside the controller. I'll kind of show you. I just leave it, you know, propped in there but unscrewed. It just seems easier. No need to really take it out and make more of a mess, I guess. Okay. Now you can just make sure this blue ribbon cable is kind of tucked into the plastic where the slot is, and just peel this front right off. And as you can see, guys, it comes right out. Move that to the side. And now we are going to basically just take out this front panel. This is where this gets a little sketchy. It is something that you have to be really gentle with, because just go ahead and pop it out. It just kind of rotates, comes right out, pretty simple. This is where this can get a little tricky. But we're just going to take this touchpad, and we have 2 screws. We have one here and one here. Go ahead and remove those now. Peel those out to the side. We'll need them pretty soon. A little bit more. There we go. All right, put that there. And then you're just going to peel. Be careful with the ribbon. Just feed that through the little slot there. Go ahead, put that to the side. And now, guys, this is where it gets a little sketchy. So you're going to take your pry tool, and this is a glued down, you know, tech board, whatever it is, you know, motherboard, whatever you may want to call it. You're going to slide this under here gently. Just your pry tool, you're going to get up under this. So I'm just going to try and work my way in and kind of go down the seams. It's very, very sketchy, but it does work. It's just glued underneath. You kind of want to just go little by little, propping up the glue so that you don't obviously break this panel in half. That would be awful. Kind of keep going around here. As you can see, guys, I'm not forcing anything. I'm kind of just trying to gently get the glue up. Go around this side. Go around this side. I'm almost through, I can tell. Making it to the back here. Yep, there it is. Almost. There we go. Okay. So you just go ahead, pop that off. And you will take your now different colored new panel and just quickly transition that over. And there's 2 little prongs on the board as well that I'll show you just in a second, that you can probably see yourself if you're at this step, that you're just going to line that up with. So just kind of tilt that way a little bit, and then go right there. You just want to give that a good, you know, compress, push down on it, make sure it's sticking. You don't want this to be all flailing around inside. One more push right here. Okay, so guys, there it is. I got this on. Let's put it back inside of its shell, which you just slide that ribbon back through, put that like that, and put your screws back in, guys. Let's go ahead and do that now. There we go. Yeah, that's a little bit, it's a little sketchy. It's definitely, you know, pretty fragile of a piece as well. So I do recommend just taking your time. Do not force it. That can really quickly ruin the controller. You guys don't want that. But there you go. So now that I have that on there, you can kind of see there's our front. Now let's start reassembling this controller. So take your front plate and put this back in. It just folds in underneath like it did when it came out. And you'll see that there is, let me just fix that. There is 2 spots where you're gonna, it looks like it's gonna get screwed back down. So just line those up and then take your other piece here, the insides I should say, and place that back in, but make sure that the blue ribbon cable fits up through. There we go. And then just so this thing doesn't move around much, guys, go ahead and you have the 2 silver screws right here and here. Put those in now. If you left yours in the controller, it's a little bit easier. As you can see, I just go ahead and I reattach those, kind of skip a step almost in a way, if that's how you want to look at it. Now that those are down, this is great. We just put this like this, pop this back in, move your ribbon cables around, get them all out of the way and secure. This one can feed right through here. There we go. There we go. We got our blue ribbon cable up here. You just want to make sure that's out. Looking good. Let's take the 2 screws on the side as well really quick, and we will reattach these so the controller is 100% connected to the front plate. So if you guys can remember, I had a screw here and a screw on the other side. Those are the ones I'm talking about right now. Go ahead and put those back in. There we go. Those are resecured. And this is really getting to the easier part of the controller, guys, because now all we have to do is get our battery plate back on, reattach a couple ribbon cables, and we're looking pretty good. So this ribbon cable that we took out right here, go ahead and take that piece. Remember, it was with our battery plate, and just attach that into its slot. I found that once the battery plate is on, it actually gets a little bit harder to fit that in. So go ahead and put that on first and then resecure the screw inside of the battery plate. Now that that's secure, you'll see that your ribbon cable is just kind of dangling here. There's a little slot actually on the battery plate of that plastic that we took it out of. Slide that in like so. You'll see it's right. I just want to get it done for you. There you go. See how it kind of sits in there now? Doesn't wiggle around. There's a little slot. You'll see it. Go ahead and put that in. And then we're going to reattach our big ribbon cable, which honestly, guys, if it's a little bit easier to reattach these side ribbon cables for you before the battery plate, go ahead and do that before you do the battery plate. But I'm kind of just trying to do it like this, which, you know what? Let's do it together. Let's take off the battery plate. Make sure you don't rip this ribbon cable that we just on accident put in there. This will be easier if we do this first. So might as well. So go ahead, take that out. Then take your ribbon cable and pop these back into their slots. There's one. Another one on this side. Push in here. Good. Oh, thought it was good. There we go. No. Huh. This one's fighting me. There we go. Now I got it. You'll be able to tell. I thought I had it twice, so pop in your blue one there. Everything is secure. Now let's put the battery plate in. Make this a little bit easier on ourselves. Screw that plate back down. Now take that ribbon cable again, slide it into that little location where it kind of keeps it steady. Okay, now we're going to put our battery in. Now that we have all these ribbon cables attached and everything is good. There we go. That's in. Take your back plate, guys. Flip the controller over. I like to hold my thumb on the battery so it doesn't fall out. Slide the triggers in like so. and you'll kind of hear everything click down. That's a good sign. And now let's reattach our screws to the bottom of the controller, right down here to start, and then we'll get those ones behind the triggers. So go ahead and do that now. All right, guys, so we sped that up a little bit. Let's just go over where those screws were one more time. We had one here, we had one here, and then we had these two up behind the triggers. So now we're just gonna actually put those triggers in. So take your L1, put it to the left. You'll just feel it, guys. It'll sit right on top. Give it a little push. Make sure it's working. It will just click right down. Take your R1, kind of place it on top. You'll see that it looks like it's in the right spot. It is. Give it a click. There you go. Make sure everything feels good. And then this is the easy part for the finisher, guys. You just take your green front piece here, or whatever color it may be, pop it on. Hear all the clicking. That's good. Right here in the middle, give that a little press down. Make sure these edges are nice and secure. And there you have it, guys. You have customized your PS5 controller. It's more of a center type look. It's not as flashy as maybe the whole shell, but it does add a little value to it in your own way, and it makes it a little more of a personal controller. I kind of like this. I wish this was an Xbox controller because the green and white, obviously, I like the play on it. I think it looks really good, guys. It is a little bit of a challenge with all of those little extra things we have to do to even get to this point. Specifically speaking on the touchpad, because that's a little bit scary. I know that is difficult. So guys, this is fun to do. It's a little bit challenging. Challenge yourself. Go ahead and do this. Give it a try. I think you guys can do it. If you just were sticking around to watch me do it, that's fine. All right, guys, thanks for stopping by. Drop a like, hit subscribe. Tell me down below what you found the most challenging while customizing your own PS5 controller. I'm Dylan here at Gamenetics. Thanks for watching.